Okay, we're back on this Honda Accord. It's 49, 50 degrees outside, and what I will tell you is this is going down to about 15 psi, 17 psi before it disengages the clutch. 15 right there, just disengaged. So it's hitting about actually 14 because there's a little lag time between what a digital gauge will read and how fast it cuts out. So it's actually hitting 14 psi on the low side, then it disengages the clutch. And you can see it disengage, re-engage, disengage, re-engage. And you can see right now there is no steady superheat or subcooling because the clutch is just cycling so fast. It just satisfies immediately because outside is so cold. So if this vehicle was in your shop, I mean, look I'm in California where it's nice and warm in the middle of winter time. We're into November 20 something right now, and it's 49 or 50 degrees ambient temperature. Imagine the shops that are colder than this that don't have heat, and they just pulled an engine or put it back in, or a front end collision. And they're one of those guys who don't believe in using scales and charging by weight. They only go cans, and they keep squirting in the can. But they're one of those guys who are taught by somebody, you should hit about 150 psi on the high side. Well, what would happen if I keep pushing in refrigerant until I hit 150? It will. I can make this hit 150 psi by keep continuing putting in refrigerant. And it might not burn up the compressor right now, and it will leave the shop on a 50-degree day working cold. Customer won't even know that it's going to get damaged. Then when spring comes around and hits a 80-degree day, the customer hits that compressor button to turn on the AC, and there's a ton of refrigerant in there. And they hit 400. If they're lucky, it'll go right up to 440 psi, and the high pressure switch will kick out the compressor. If they're not so lucky, maybe it'll go up to 420 psi, keep struggling right there, and with all that extra refrigerant diluting out the oil, it burns up the compressor. So that's what I see happen all the time. That's what my father's seen happen for decades before I was even born. And so this is how this repeat history of passing along knowledge from one generation technician to another generation without reading and being educated doesn't work no more. These are normal pressures. This is what it should be on days like today. And every now and then I get somebody who, when I was, it keeps reminding me of when I was only in my teens and 20s, and I'd have some old fogey mechanic who's been in the business 20, 30, 40 years telling me that I'm wrong, that the pressure should be something else when I know it shouldn't be. Just because he has 20 to 40 years more experience than you, if you're educated and he is not, he's still doing old ways on new cars, that spells disaster. All right, see you guys. Stay educated, read, attend seminars, go to schools, practice on cars. Don't stop educating yourself, because you're going to be a student for the rest of your life. In 20 more years, I still won't know anything compared about the vehicles that are going to be introduced 20 years ago. I'll be a student all over again, learning something new. See you guys.